Billy Luna.
In the early 90s, John Veasey was a man with an unusual occupation. He killed people. Veasey was a hitman in the Philadelphia Mafia and found himself smack in the middle of the bloodiest mob war in the city's history.
Did you feel it when it hit you?
Yeah, right, 45 in my ass.
Wow. And what
hair in my
was
ass.
was it immediate? You're like, oh, I just got shot.
Yeah, you heard the sound.
How would you feel if your best friend died?
John Veasey's first hit was in broad daylight. The targets? Rival mob boss Joey Merlino and his top lieutenant Michael Ciancaglini. Veasey and a partner drove up on the pair, hit the brakes, and opened fire.
All right, I'm going to give you the exclusive insider information about the newly announced Netflix 3-part docuseries called Mob War, which revolves around the Philadelphia mob, the alleged Philadelphia mob, and Skinny Joey Merlino.
Please subscribe to the Billy Luna channel and like the video. Thank you.
Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comments. So I'm going to show you some exclusive footage, okay? Stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to give you exclusive footage that you won't see anywhere else. And I'm going to give you some inside information about where this thing came from, who's involved with it, and what will be contained within it. And this is just the beginning. I'm going to do several of these because I have been invited to an exclusive screening of all 3 parts of this docuseries. The actual series on Netflix will not be released until October 22nd. As you all know, I live in LA. I'm a Hollywood guy. Right now, I'm visiting Boston, so I'm sitting in the Delta Lounge at the Boston Logan Airport. When I return to LA, I have been invited to an exclusive premiere screening of all 3 of the episodes of the new Netflix docuseries. Everyone else is going to have to wait till the 22nd of October, but you ride with Billy Luna, so you're going to be privy to it in advance as well. So buckle up because I'm going to show you the trailer. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to explain to you what's going to be in it. I'm going to explain to you some of the details about who participated in this and the kind of genesis of the project. Then at the end, I'm going to show you some exclusive footage. This is the new poster for the docuseries. This poster is super cool. I love the oversaturated color. And of course we have John Stanfa here, Sicilian-born interloper allegedly installed by the New York Mafia and over the Philadelphia Mafia. And then we've got this cat right here. You recognize him on the right. That is Skinny Joey Merlino, the Prince of Philadelphia, the leader of the Young Turks. Okay, so now down here we have some police tape, and this is the burned car. Spoiler alert. This is the burned car after John Stanfa, the guy on the left, puts a hit on Skinny Joey Merlino, and he has it done by one of his goons, John Veasey, who's featured in the docuseries and will be featured in... Stay tuned to the end of the video because I've got some footage of this with Veasey I'm going to show you. And that is the car he lit on fire after he shot Skinny Joey Merlino and unfortunately killed Skinny Joey Merlino's best friend, Michael Ciancaglini. These guys were the Young Turks versus the Sicilian interloper. Okay, before I show you the exclusive footage at the end and give you some insight about this actual production and the background of it, I am going to go through the new trailer and I'm going to briefly kind of give you some context.
I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but the worst is I made was joining the Mafia.
Okay, so this guy right here is John Veasey. Now, like I said, we're going to go way more into this in deep dives about the whole thing later, but for now, I'll just tell you, obviously, you may know, John Veasey was a hitman under John Stanfa, the boss of the Philadelphia Mafia, installed by the New York Mafia. John Stanfa, Sicilian-born interloper, and Stanfa sent Veasey and another guy to hit Skinny Joey Merlino, the upstart head of the Young Turks of Philadelphia, and his best friend Michael Ciancaglini. They unfortunately got shot. Joey got shot a couple times. Michael got unfortunately killed by Veasey. Then later, John Stanfa would become suspicious of Veasey and lure him somewhere pop him a bunch of times with a gun, and including in the head. And then as a result, I guess a rat is born, but Veasey became a rat.
When people think of the Mafia, they think of New York. But Philadelphia was 100 times more brutal. Prostitution, loan sharking, drugs. From our guys, it isn't just the money, it's the life itself.
All right, so here we have something kind of interesting. This is John A-Light, okay? John A-Light is an Albanian tough guy from New York City. He was very tight with John Gotti Jr., and he was, therefore associated with John Gotti Sr. And he's involved in this. This is a interesting piece of information because, of course, he's going to be talking a lot about Skinny Joey Merlino here, and of course, he used to have a show called the John and Gene Show with the current major nemesis of Skinny Joey Merlino, Mean Gene Borello. Of course, Mean Gene Borello is a former Bonanno family associate who turned government informant. So John and Gene used to have what's called the John and Gene Show. So they have, they've gotten John here. Now, John's got knowledge of this because John has told stories about how, the New York had sent him to deal with Philly. And so it's very funny because Gene Borello has been very disrespectful in relation to Joey Merlino for quite a long time. But every time he would say something like that on the John and Gene Show with John A-Light would take the other side and say, listen, Joey Merlino is a real one. So John A-Light, the Albanian former Gambino associate, later turned rat, seems to have respect for the skinny one, the alleged boss of the Philadelphia Mafia family. And it's kind of interesting. This year, John A-Light has reinvented himself and has gone into politics as a Republican, and he is a member of a borough council in New Jersey now.
The five families trusted John Stanfa.
Stanfa was Italy in the old ways.
The Young Turks, led by Joey Merlino.
Joey was a personable guy.
Dresses well, he's cocky.
Don't make me a bad guy, does it?
Police say the 33-year-old mobster is ruthlessly consolidating his power.
Stanfa didn't understand the thirst that Joey Merlino had.
It was just a matter of, okay, somebody's going to get hit.
Okay, this right here is what is called the only recorded Mafia hit. The FBI had a camera on a pole outside of this restaurant that was owned by Joey Ciancaglini. Now, this is Michael Ciancaglini, Joey Merlino's best friend's brother, who is aligned with Stanfa. And I'm not going to get too into this because this is like super, super complex, and I'll get way more into this with a deep dive later. But that's what this footage right here is. This is where, some have alleged that Joey Merlino was involved in this personally, but it's also been alleged that he had ordered this. This is basically Joe Ciancaglini, who is aligned with Stanfa, Merlino, and the Young Turks' enemies. This is where he was popped. And this is what is called historically the only time a Mafia hit was ever captured on film, allegedly. Okay, I'm going to give you some background about this Netflix project and the production, and then I'm going to show you my exclusive footage. Now, let me just tell you a little something about the footage I'm going to show you, okay? Some of it is a bit graphic in terms of the shooting of Skinny Joey Merlino and Michael Ciancaglini, and so I will just put that warning right there. If anyone is close to them or knows them, stop watching now. But, however, don't worry, because I've censored this particular stuff I'm going to show you. There is some censorship of it. Now, if you want to see the uncensored footage, you've got to join my channel, become a member, and then you can see that behind the paywall of membership, because that's out of respect to the Merlino and Ciancaglini families, okay? And that's why I'm putting this warning up front. Now, Let me give you a little bit of background about this production. Now, I've known about this thing for quite some time. Long before anybody in MobTube reported on it, I knew about it. And when I found out about it, I was actually pitching at a studio, and one of the studio creative executives had told me about it. And I immediately called my pal Skinny Joey Merlino, and I let him know. And he told me that he already knew about it because someone had reached out to him. I'm not going to say who was reached out to, but anyway, Joey knew about it, and Joey doesn't really participate in such projects, so he didn't decline, and he had nothing to do with this. However, I will tell you two people that are associated with this project in terms of the background research and information, and that is Dave Schratweiser, local Philly news reporter. Joey likes to call Dave Ratweiser. And then, of course, old school literary don, George Anastasia, Dartmouth graduate, writer, journalist, teacher. They have a lot to do behind the scenes with the research aspect of this.
Did you feel it when it hit you?
Yeah, right. 45 in my ass.
Wow. And
my hair and my
was
ass.
Was it immediate? You're like, oh, I just got shot.
Yeah, you heard the sound.
How would you feel if your best friend died?
John Veasey's first hit was in broad daylight. The targets? Rival mob boss Joey Merlino and his top lieutenant Michael Ciancaglini. Veasey and a partner drove up on the pair, hit the brakes, and opened fire.
Hey, you! Call an ambulance!
Billy Luna.
But the big story on Action News this noon is funeral services for a reputed mobster. Michael Ciancaglini is being buried today, the victim of gunshot wounds that he received during an alleged mob hit. David Murphy, live on the Action Cam now with details. David?
This is the Church of the Epiphany in South Philadelphia at 11th and Jackson, and it's a fitting place for the Ciancaglini family to say goodbye to Michael. Residents say his wife grew up in this parish. This funeral today is a punctuation mark, if you will, for a heightening mob war in Philadelphia. There have been 7 mob-related attacks in the last year and a half, 3 of them involving this family. The morning began with a viewing for 31-year-old Michael Ciancaglini at a funeral home on South Broad Street. Most of the 75 to 100 people who showed up weren't talking to reporters. The few who were basically said,
"A wonderful father."
But the Pennsylvania Crime Commission says this husband and father of 3 was also involved in a faction of the Philadelphia mob. Ciancaglini and another man, 31-year-old reputed mobster Joseph Merlino, were ambushed last Thursday in the 600 block of Catherine Street in South Philadelphia by 2 gunmen. The assassin's getaway car was found burning a short time later. Several people have been questioned. There have been no arrests. Merlino, who escorted Ciancaglini's widow from the funeral mass, escaped serious injury during the attack. A year and a half ago, Michael Ciancaglini was ambushed outside his South Philadelphia house. It's not the first time that they've seen a reputed mob figure buried here. Murdered mob boss Angelo Bruno is from this neighborhood and was also buried out of this same church. Ciancaglini, in the meantime, is being laid to rest at a cemetery in Belmar, New Jersey at this hour, and again, police are still on the hunt for his killers.
Give a fuck about them.
I mean, that must have been a stressful time. Like looking back, I look at that time like the mid-90s between, dealing with the feds coming after you and them trying to pin you for all this stuff. And then on top of that, you have 30 different hits out on you, 30 different attempted murders.
I didn't even know nothing about them. I didn't even know it.
Yeah,
it all came out in court. I don't know these people. I don't know none of them. The only one, I don't even know her. The ugly girl, what's her name? Coletti's wife. She said she tried to put poison in my drink.
She tried to poison him in a bar. She says he's never even seen her.
Oh, really?
That's what she said. She was standing outside the federal building with a bullseye. Said I was going to kill her. I don't even know the mother. Said she was going to put cyanide in my drink. She was so ugly, she didn't have the chance to talk to me.
Because obviously there was the one drive-by that actually you got clipped by
get shot,
and you got injured.
Yeah.
Would you mind just kind of taking me through some of the steps of how that occurred?
No, I was just walking down the street, me and Michael, and a car came and got shot. That was it. I don't know who did it. I didn't see no, we didn't say it. I mean, Duncan, I didn't Duncan, and they drove away. came out in court testimony. They said they did it. I don't know. I have no idea who shot us.
Yeah. I mean, that's a brutal thing. Like, that's probably the worst thing that could happen to someone is, like, you were there because Michael ended up passing away from it.
Right there. Well, he was dying. I didn't know. You know, at the time he went in the ambulance, and I went to the hospital, and then I seen it on the news. But Michael was a good man, tough man, good father, young kid for no reason.
Yeah. And did you even know what was happening? Like,
no.
you heard the shots,
That's
obviously.
It. And he went right down.
Did you feel it when it hit you?
Yeah, right. 45 in my ass.
Wow. And what
hair in my
was
ass.
Was it immediate? You're like, oh, I just got shot.
Yeah, you heard the sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and were you afraid in that moment? Were you like, did you think you were dying?
I knew I was okay because it was my leg. You know, didn't hit no artery. It was bleeding, but not bad. You know what I mean? He was bleeding bad.
So even in that moment, you were like, okay, we gotta help out Mike.
Yeah, we're trying to save him.
Because the
ambulance came. I made him go in the ambulance. I went with 2 kids in the neighborhood. They drove me to the hospital.
Wow.
We got in a fight.
After you got shot?
We were in a car. I had these 2 black kids from my neighborhood. I knew them good. I said, drive me to the hospital. I'm shot. So driving me, they're beeping the horn. They ain't got no fucking siren. And the guy's like, you. They start fighting. I said, you got to take me to the hospital. I'm bleeding over there. And then they took me to Pennsylvania Hospital. They let me out. I got in a wheelchair. I wheeled myself in.
But you were never afraid in that whole time. You were like, oh, I'm not going to die. You were like, I can get through this. I mean,
I knew I was okay. I was worried about Michael.
And when did you hear about Michael?
When I was in the hospital.
And they came and told you that? Hey.
No, I see the news. The news on.
It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
And I seen it on the news. Yeah, it was sad. He got a beautiful family. 3 kids. Well, poor Natalie just passed away. Michael and Tino are good kids. Fuck. Tino's my godson. Monique, poor what she's been through.
I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal to go through stuff like that. I mean, do you feel like that affected you at all? Like that experience, did it make you more cautious going forward? Did it make you a little paranoid?
No, I'm the same.
He is.
I'm the fucking same.
I mean, that's crazy.
I'm the same every day.
To experience something like that, to see someone that you love like get hit, you get hit, it's fucked up, of course. But you walked away, no PTSD, like just kind of.
No, I'm fine.
Billy Luna.
So then you come out in 92, 91?
No, 92.
92. Okay. So what was it like to come out at that point?
No, it was good. I went to the halfway house. I only did a couple years. I did 3 years. 2.5 years, 3 years.
In 93, there was a drive-by shooting that happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me exactly what happened in that situation.
We were walking down the street, me and Michael. Turned around, seen a gun pointing at shots, and we got shot.
Right. You got hit 4 times?
No, I got hit twice in the ass.
Okay. But your friend, Michael
Ciancaglini.
Sorry. Your friend Michael Ciancaglini was actually shot in the chest.
No, he got shot one time he put his arm up. The bullet hit him over here, and then it went through his aorta. If he would have kept his arm down, he might have lived. You know what I mean? He had big arms.
Right. He gets shot in the torso, and then does he die right there, or does it take a while?
No, he was in my arms. I was waiting for the rescue squad.
Okay. By the time they arrived,
I made him go. He went in the rescue squad because he was bleeding bad. And two black kids from the neighborhood drove me to the hospital. Well, I got in a fight driving to the hospital. We got in a fight driving in the car. Beeping the horn, the guy pulled over, wanted to fight us. I'm shot in the back seat, bleeding. This guy wanted to fight us. And then I just got dropped off outside the hospital. I wheeled myself in.
Okay. How did it feel? Because this was like your best friend, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
So you're holding your best friend as he's dying right in front of you.
Well, I mean, I know he was in bad shape. I didn't know he died till when I was in the hospital in my room. I put the news on, and they said he was dead. I didn't know. Because they took him in an ambulance.
When you found out that he died, how'd you feel?
No, I was fucking sick. How would you feel if your fucking best friend died? Right? Yeah, it was up.
The rumor is that 2 gunmen that Stanfa actually hired were the ones who did it.
I have no idea. I have no idea who shot me to this day. They say this one did it, that one did it. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. So nobody got convicted of that is what you're saying?
No. Not that I don't know. I don't know. Not that I know.
Okay. But I mean, during that time, there was really like a mess that was happening. Do you remember the date that shooting happened? Was it September 17th?
When I got shot?
Yeah.
No, I got shot, it was summer. August 5th, I think. Yeah, August 5th.
Right, because during that time, it was a mess. Stanfa and his son got shot while on the expressway. His son ended up getting shot in the jaw.
I got charged with that shooting, and I got acquitted. Make sure you put that on there.
So a guy named Philip Coletti, who was allegedly hired by Stanfa, he testified in court that he planted a remote control bomb under your car several times, but it never went off.
I guess he didn't know what the he was doing. I don't know him. His wife said she tried to kill me too.
Okay.
She tried to put cyanide in my drink. She was so ugly, I wouldn't even talk to her.
I mean, how does it feel when all these people are trying to kill you?
It was all right.
It's all right?
What about my day?
I mean, did it make you think that maybe you need to just move somewhere else?
No, why?
Get out of this area?
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Okay.
Went to dinner, out drinking, went to sporting events. If that's a crime, then kill me. What am I going to do?
Funeral services were held today for one of the latest targets caught in an apparent struggle for control of the city's mob. About 100 family members, friends, and associates gathered at the Church of the Epiphany in South Philadelphia to pay respects and farewell to Michael Cingolini. Spectators stood outside and lined the route to the cemetery to get a glimpse of those in attendance. Cingolini was killed by two unknown gunmen after he left a club on Catherine Street on Thursday. Authorities say Cingolini was involved in a tug-of-war for control of the mob. Joseph Merlino, another reputed mobster, was wounded in the shooting but later released from the hospital. Today, he escorted Cingolini's widow at the funeral.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Ward. Bruce Hamilton has the night off. Our top story tonight, surprising revelations about an alleged mob hit the day the victim is buried. A funeral for Michael Cingolini was held in South Philadelphia while a possible Jersey link to the bloody deed is announced. KOW3's Robin McIntosh reports.
Funeral services were held today for 31-year-old Michael Cingolini, the reputed mobster gunned down last week on a South Philadelphia street corner.
I expect the killings and shootings to continue until one side emerges victorious.
Today, only hours after the Cingolini funeral, New Jersey State Police Superintendent Justin Dentino dropped a bomb of his own. Philadelphia police are still searching for the triggerman who gunned down Michael Cingolini. In the meantime, here in South Jersey, state police say they may have intercepted a second hit team before they could reach their intended targets. According to Dentino, who spoke to a Rotary Club meeting in Camden this afternoon, only hours before the Cingolini hit, a state police trooper pulled over a car on Route 295 for a traffic stop. Inside, he found 2 sets of rubber gloves and ski masks, a shotgun, and 2 9mm handguns.
While they were not loaded, there was clips with Teflon-coated hollow point bullets that can pierce a bulletproof vest.
Arrested were the driver, 25-year-old Herbert Keller of Ben Salem, Bucks County, and his passenger, 27-year-old Sergio Battaglia. According to police, Battaglia is the former vice president of Battaglia Ford in Hamilton, New Jersey.
There's no doubt in my mind that these two individuals were part of the hit team that was sent out that day to either participate in the shooting of Merlino and Cingolini or other dissidents within that group.
Police say Battaglia and Keller were released from jail yesterday after being charged with weapons violations. They've not been charged in connection with the Cingolini hit, but police say they've been looking into the Battaglia connection since the shooting. The suspected getaway car, this white Ford, was set on fire by the fleeing Cingolini gunmen. It was reported stolen. Police traced its ownership to Battaglia Ford. As for the man Dentino thinks is behind it all, reputed mob boss John Stanfa.
I can tell you that John Stanfa will be arrested at some point by the FBI, the Philadelphia Police, the New Jersey State Police, a combination thereof, if not for these shootings, for some other crimes, providing that his own membership doesn't get to him before we do.
Today, the latest victims of the ongoing mob war left the Epiphany Church. Joseph Merlino still limping with a cane after being shot in the leg, and Michael Cingolini. He was headed for a South Jersey cemetery, and police don't think he'll be the last. In South Philadelphia, Robin McIntosh, The News Tonight.
What does Battaglia Ford have to say about all this? KOW3's Joyce Evans spoke to the owner of the dealership just a few minutes ago. Anthony Battaglia says they are cooperating with investigators, but no authority ever asked about a possible connection between between the Cingolini hit and Sergio Battaglia, or Sergio's connection with the dealership. They only asked about the stolen car. Anthony Battaglia is Sergio's brother. He says Sergio was a salesman there who left earlier this year. They deny any affiliation with mob figures anywhere.
Authorities have released new information tonight on the alleged mob shooting in South Philadelphia last week. It comes on the day the victim of that shooting was buried. Michael Cingolini was laid to rest today, and as Rich Noonan reports, many of his associates are making life and death decisions about their futures.
30-year-old Michael Cingolini leaves behind 3 young children and a grieving wife. He was shot in the heart last week during a mob hit. His best friend, Joey Merlino, survived. He took 2 bullets in the rear end as he ran for his life. At this morning's viewing and funeral for Cingolini, Merlino was not at all camera shy. He stood in front of the funeral home as if to say, "I'm still here, they didn't get me." Merlino has also maintained his bravado. Listen to his response when we asked him to comment on the shooting. Merlino will have to be a tough guy to survive the coming months, according to law enforcement sources who say Merlino and his young mob associates were challenging the authority of mob boss John Stanfa, and Stanfa may have ordered the hit, which cost Michael Cingolini his life.
It reached a point where something had to be done.
Inquirer reporter George Anastasia authored a book about the Philadelphia mob. He, like others, watched the spectacle in South Philadelphia today. There were 3 cars filled with flowers. The family insisted on only black limousines. And the Church of the Epiphany at 11th and Jackson. It's the same place of worship where former mob boss Angelo Bruno was eulogized in 1980. The Bruno killing by the Scarfo faction of the mob set off a bloody mob war. Watching Joey Merlino run the show today, one couldn't help but wonder if another war is coming.
It's a lot, I think, a lot like in 1980 after Bruno got hit and nobody knew where the shots were coming from and where the next shots were going to come from. And I think you can draw some similarities there.
Law enforcement officials say the future of the Philadelphia mob will be more clear the next time mafia hitmen strike. Tonight, mob leader John Stanfa may be looking over his shoulder, and his young rival Joey Merlino may find out just how much support he really has. Law enforcement officials hope some innocent person isn't caught in the middle when the bullets start flying the next time. In South Philadelphia, Rich Noonan, the 10 o'clock news.
New Jersey State Police say organized crime boss John Stanfa of Medford was behind the alleged mob hit of Michael Cingolini, and a former South Jersey car salesman was also in on the plot. Steve Coleman has the latest.
It is this car that provides the link in the latest development in the Cingolini murder investigation. Police say this was the getaway vehicle used by 2 gunmen who later set it on fire. And according to New Jersey State Police Superintendent Justin Dentino, they were acting under the orders of reputed mafia kingpin John Stanfa. Today, they announced they had arrested 26-year-old Sergio Battaglia and Herbert Keller on weapons charges while they were traveling down Interstate 295. That happened on Thursday. Battaglia is the brother of the man who owns this Ford dealership in Hamilton, New Jersey, where employees say that any connection between the mob and the Ford dealership is ludicrous.
And any implication Mr. Battaglia would have any, Tony Battaglia would have any kind of connections with anyone who knows him or has been here would be ludicrous. We wouldn't have been struggling and working as hard as we have.
But it is this dealership from where the Ford originally came from. It had been loaned to a Battaglia Ford customer. On Thursday, the day of the murder, the man reported it stolen in Philadelphia. Tonight, officials at Battaglia Ford want to make it clear that the relationship between Sergio Battaglia and his brother's dealership was a short-lived one. Contrary to the state police, they say Sergio was never a vice president here, but a salesman, and that for only a brief time. Nonetheless, the news of his arrest and his possible connection to the murder of Michael Cingolini hit this dealership like a shockwave.
I think he's a decent young man from my experience with him, and we're all very shocked and surprised at the allegation.
Police theorize that Sergio Battaglia and Herbert Keller were a backup team to the 2 men who assassinated Michael Cingolini and wounded Joe Merlino. If that is true, then the arrest of Battaglia on Thursday on weapons charges may have been the only thing preventing the former car salesman from taking part in a murder. Tonight, police say there will be more arrests in this case, and that the South Jersey connections revealed today are only the tip of the iceberg. In Hamilton, New Jersey, Steve Coleman, the 10 o'clock news.
John Veasey's first hit was in broad daylight. The targets? Rival mob boss Joey Merlino and his top lieutenant Michael Cingolini. Veasey and a partner drove up on the pair, hit the brakes, and opened fire. In the early 90s, John Veasey was a man with an unusual occupation. He killed people. Veasey was a hitman in the Philadelphia Mafia and found himself smack in the middle of the bloodiest mob war in the city's history. As is often the case with hitmen, Veasey's career was a short one. When he learned his own crew might want to kill him, he became a government witness, a rat. His testimony helped send 24 wise guys to prison, some for the rest of their lives, and the Philly mob would never be the same. Today, the one-time killer is a free man, living under an assumed name somewhere in America. We've agreed not to divulge exactly where. He's married, has a good job, and says he's found God. But back in his old South Philadelphia neighborhood, not everyone believes John Veasey's story of redemption. They say he's still the same low-life thug he was 20 years ago, when the mob made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
In 1993, you were an ex-con, a laborer, and a guy walks up to you and offers you $10,000 to do what?
Kill a guy.
Were you interested?
I just said, yeah, where's the gun?
That casual?
Yeah. He said, take some time to think about it. I said, just take some time to get me the gun and let's get it done.
That's how it was for John Veasey, one bad choice after another. He grew up in the mostly Italian neighborhood of South Philadelphia, home to the city's underworld. He was the youngest of 5. His mother sold crystal meth out of her family's bakery. By his mid-teens, John was a junkie and the father of 2. By his late 20s, he had been arrested more than 60 times. He says he never aspired to join the mob, but the promise of a big payday got his attention.
I mean, you get $10,000 and you never have no money.
They were offering money to take somebody's life.
But my question to that is real simple. How many poor people are being offered $10,000 to kill somebody?
But that's not an economic issue. That's a moral issue.
It's moral if you have morals.
You had no morals.
Correct. None.
In the early 90s, the Philadelphia mob was at war. Blood and body bags routine. On one side was a group of older, Sicilian-born wise guys led by John Stanfa. On the other, younger American mobsters headed by Joey Merlino. For 30 years, George Anastasia covered the mob for the Philadelphia Inquirer. He says a young, streetwise thug like Veasey was the kind of muscle John Stanfa needed.
Stanfa was getting an enforcer. Stanfa was getting a guy who wasn't afraid to go out there and bust heads. He was getting a guy who would go out and collect money, who would go out and intimidate people, and who would go out and kill people if he was ordered to do so.
John Veasey's first hit was in broad daylight. The targets? Rival mob boss Joey Merlino and his top lieutenant Michael Ciancaglini. Veasey and a partner drove up on the pair, hit the brakes, and opened fire.
Was your heart racing as you were coming down the street?
Well, I didn't really think like that. I was going to work, and part of my work that day was to kill somebody.
Joey Merlino survived the attack, but Michael Ciancaglini was killed. One name off the boss's hit list.
How many names on the list?
25, 35, maybe.
If you see one of the guys on this list on the street, you take him out.
Yeah.
Veasey's star was rising. He was summoned to this Philadelphia hotel to become a made member of the mob. But the sacred ceremony was the last thing on his mind. He wanted the $10,000 he had been promised for his first hit.
I wanted the money. I never got the money.
Why didn't John Stanfa pay you?
He said they were saving money for the war, and I said, what are we buying, a Sherman tank? I mean, I'm bringing all this money's coming, $100,000, $50,000. Nobody's getting paid.
Those complaints did not sit well with Stanfa. A few months later, the mob boss ordered another hit, this time on Veasey. But John had an older brother, Billy, with friends in the mob. When Billy learned John might be in trouble, he pleaded with him to turn himself in, to become a government informant, a rat.
Why do it?
I don't know. I guess it was the right thing to do.
When Billy was talking to you, what was he telling you?
Told me it was the only opportunity, the only way he didn't want to watch me get executed.
Billy Veasey drove John to the U.S. Attorney's Office. FBI agent Paul Hayes, now retired, became John's government handler.
Billy understood the mob. That's why he wanted him to come in and cooperate, because he knew how the mob could turn on you and kill you in a moment. And in fact, I think he was right.
Veasey agreed to wear a wire and collect evidence. But he wasn't wearing it on the night he went to this South Philadelphia apartment with two trusted mob associates. Inside, everything was covered in plastic.
It's not normal to walk in a room with plastic. But I did. I never thought anything.
What did you think was about to happen?
They told me they were painting.
He was shot 4 times with a small caliber pistol, 3 times in the head, once in the chest.
The guy shoots in the back of the head. There are 2 men, 2 to 1. How'd you manage to get out?
You fight. You do what you grew up doing.
He wrestled a knife from one attacker, stabbed him, and ran from the building. The legend of John Veasey was born.
This is a guy who can't be killed now. You know, you can't bring him down. And it enhances that whole reputation as a tough guy. John Veasey should have been dead that night, and he wasn't.
How do you explain that?
Poor equipment. They should have had a better gun, a bigger gun. I don't know. Maybe it's destiny. Maybe this is supposed to happen.
John Stanfa and 23 members of his crew were indicted on charges including murder and racketeering. Veasey's appearance at their trial as a government witness was eagerly anticipated. But on the morning he was to testify, he was approached by FBI agent Paul Hayes.
And I said, John, I have something to tell you. Your brother was murdered in a hit. And John crumbled to the floor.
Billy had been ambushed in his car not far from his home. 5 days later, John took the stand, giving jurors an unvarnished account of life in the mob.
He was a highly effective witness. Very good. One of the best I've ever seen.
What was so good about him?
Well, because he was genuine. This is what we did. I shot this guy, and that guy over there told me to do it.
The defense tried to diminish his testimony. They said, John, we see that you're wearing glasses. Did the government buy you those glasses? And he said, yes, they did. And then he said, did the government buy you those glasses to make you more believable and credible in front of this jury? He says, I don't know, but ever since your client shot me in the back of the head, my vision's been slightly off.
All the defendants were found guilty. John Stanfa was sentenced to 5 consecutive life terms. Veasey, as part of his plea agreement, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Plenty of time for dark thoughts of revenge.
You wanted to kill the people who killed your brother?
Them, family, it didn't really matter.
You were going to shoot him, or you gonna...
Well, I had plans to, like, inject their wives with AIDS.
What?
Yeah. I was going to bump in there with a shopping cart, like have a little needle. They wouldn't even feel it.
And that's just evil.
It is evil, but you know what? I was pretty evil. And I ain't going to try to say I wasn't.
This is John Veasey today. Just another suburban homeowner trying to stay ahead of the yard work.
I have a great wife, a great family, nice home, good job.
Veasey shares his new life with Norma, his wife of 8 years. They married after John's brief stint in the Witness Protection Program.
Like I always say now, I'm not who I want to be. I'm not who I'm going to be, but I'm definitely not the person I used to be.
I don't believe it.
You're not buying that car?
I'm not buying it.
Reporter George Anastasia isn't alone in his skepticism. Many in South Philadelphia don't believe Veasey is capable of changing.
He's found God because it's expedient to find God, because he's somewhere in middle America and it works to find God there. I don't think if he's back on a street corner in South Philly, he's found God. He's looking to avenge what happened to his brother. He's looking to settle scores.
His brother's murder almost 20 years ago has remained an obsession. We learned that on visits to Philadelphia, Veasey has made threats against those he thinks were responsible. Kathy Ciancaglini says she's been a target for years.
It's frightening, it's aggravating, it's intimidating.
Why would John Veasey threaten you?
He believes that my husband has killed his brother.
Her husband, John Ciancaglini, and others were tried in 2001 for the murder of Billy Veasey and found not guilty. But John Veasey maintains Ciancaglini did murder Billy as payback for his first hit when he killed Ciancaglini's brother, Michael. Kathy says Veasey has posted menacing pictures on Facebook and left her voicemails that she saved, like this one from 2011.
I don't give a if I get caught. I will get you, John. How's your wife feel about that? Maybe I'll hit her in the too. You punk.
He's the punk. He threatens me. Calls my husband a punk. He's the punk. He threatens women. That's what he does.
John Veasey lives under an alias, and few in his new community are aware of his past. But over the last 5 years, His name has appeared in at least 4 police reports. In 2008, an argument in a restaurant led to a fight.
I waited for him to take his drink, and I sized him up and I hit him with a straight, good punch, and the glass went through his face.
Veasey was arrested and pleaded guilty to misdemeanor battery. His victim required 25 stitches and plastic surgery.
Only reason it's big for me because I'm a killer. You think about it, how many of your friends had a barroom fight growing up?
I gotta tell you, in talking to you, sometimes I wonder if you're still just a tough guy or if you're still part of you a bad guy.
That's something you'll have to wonder, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I would say that if that's open for debate.
Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comments.
Billy Luna. Please subscribe to the Billy Luna channel and like the video. Thank you.